It says you're Justin Darlington.
I know. I know. Well, I am technically Justin Darlington right now. So, okay. All right. Ready to do this, buddy?
Let's do it.
Ah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Three Amibros podcast. There was football. Two people on this podcast got to walk away with a win, and they decided to show up. And one person on this podcast buried his face in his hands and decided not to come this week because his team did shitty. We're not going to say who it
Really
was.
shitty.
Yeah, we're not going to say who it was. I think you can figure it out from the two voices that you just heard. And if you're watching us live, you can tell. There's only two of us on here because one person decided that it was too painful to come on here to have two boys talk about how the fuck could they lose to a division rival for me and how they could look so bad. And the points on that game does not do that game justice.
Right.
Uh, and allowing Derrick Henry 151 yards, pretty shitty.
Yeah, honestly, this is kind of bad news for everyone involved. The fact that Justin's not here because there is no one here to regulate us, Alex. The
0%.
ADD is a flowing, the autism is a going, and this episode is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna be sitting here. We're gonna be, I don't know, we're gonna be all over the place, baby. We're gonna be talking about the sports and what they were. Before we get to the NFL, though, I think we should only be right that we address you guys. Hey, we haven't been around for 2 weeks. We get it. Okay. Life
Crazy
happens.
things are happening,
One of us was out of the country in North Carolina. So, like, they don't,
and one of us doesn't know how to read a map, and that's
yeah.
okay
So
because we're
that's
back now. And we're actually very excited because I think going forward, you guys will be pleasantly surprised about the new direction of this podcast. Give us a little bit more time. Things are still working themselves out right now, but
sounded
these
a little
last two
ominous.
weeks off, we're
Sounded a
not.
little ominous. I do want to say Justin will be back.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Sounded a little
for
ominous.
sure.
He will be coming back. He will be on the podcast. He is just doing some moving to a new place. And we'll let that be. But when you
Couldn't
see
have
the
said
new
it better
change,
myself,
yep.
Alex.
When you see the change happen, you'll understand why the boys and I are so excited for this upcoming season. We cannot wait to bring you more and more and more and more. It's like we are a train that keeps on chugging because Thomas does not give up, and we will not give up on putting content out for you guys. We may take a delay. We may
Sounds like some
derail a little
slam
bit.
poetry over
We
there.
may derail a little bit, but we will not stop because we love you guys too much. Remember, this is the year of positivity. And I guess that's what happens when you start 3-0. I guess
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
easy.
happens.
It's easy to be happy when you're 3-0.
Yeah, it's easy to be happy. So, like I said, before we start, we do have to talk about some college football. Some things have been going awry. I did not think that the Bulldogs would ever fall for number one this season. But after the game with Kentucky 2 weeks ago, it did not look too good.
Oh man, I was really hoping Kentucky was going to hang on to that
Dude,
game. Well, okay. Kentucky obviously played them really well,
yeah.
but what was that like? I don't know if it was coaching or quarterback decision making or probably both, but the very end of that game was just like, really? Really? You have one shot to go for it, and that's your play call, and that's your decision on who you're passing it to. That was just awful.
It
That
just
was a very bad note to leave the game on.
Yeah, we saw it. We saw it with the Bears too. Like it's just like bad play calling at an important decision that you need something to happen, and you just like you've been playing such you. It's like you have the team like literally beat. You just have to convert one play, and like that's why the Bulldogs are the Bulldogs. Like they're going to do it, but didn't look pretty, which is not great for Alabama, who they have next week because or this week because they want revenge. They know that they looked bad. They want to beat them so they can hop back up to that number one spot.
So, crazy stat here. Alabama is a underdog at home for the
Wow. Is that
first
like the
time
first?
since
Yeah.
2007. That is
2007.
that's a crazy run right there.
That is 2007
I believe that would have been Saban's first year there.
when he was okay, right? They did okay
Right,
there.
yeah, he was still built like he had just gotten there,
Yeah.
so they weren't quite the powerhouse that they obviously became. I think he won the first title with them in '09. So
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
that's crazy. Well, hey, new head coach, similar thing. Maybe they go, maybe they beat the dogs. What are you taking there? I know we're not doing
Uh
don't do predictions, but like, what are you taking there? You think?
I'm taking the Bulldogs there. I think Alabama, they lost a lot of guys, both to the obviously the NFL and the transfer portal. I'm not high on Jalen Milroe as their quarterback. And I think the Bulldogs are just way too talented. And so I think they're gonna walk out of that one.
You know who everyone's
They
got?
know how to beat Alabama these days.
You know who they? I know. I don't know if they're really going to do much, but you know who everyone's got to look out for.
Although they
This
choked to him last year.
yeah,
Who?
this Tennessee team looks
Yes.
as good as they did with Hendon Hooker at the helm. Like they look
They
good.
look good. They
They
look
look,
legit.
yeah, this Nico, don't know his last name. They look good. They look, yeah. I was shocked by how good they looked. Missouri's this quiet. I mean, I know they only beat Vanderbilt by 3 points, but they are quiet. This team has been good over the last like 2 or 3 years. Out of
Oh
nowhere.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. They've been silently good for sure.
Yeah. And then I saw a stat, it was so funny. I saw a stat that if the teams that were in the Pac-12,
Hmm.
they're like undefeated this year or so going into week 3 or something like that.
Oh, maybe going in.
Yeah, going in no, not like not now, but like going into the week that we just had, going into week
Yeah,
4, every team was undefeated that was in the Pac-12.
that's pretty good. Oh well,
ASU was
Colorado no.
oh, I guess Colorado. Yeah, my bad, my bad. Okay,
Maybe
one's
the majority of them are
yeah, but
because
like
yeah, I
like yeah,
that
because
that so is true.
ASU, U of A, they were all undefeated, right? Or did U of A take a
Actually,
loss?
no, you ASU had a no
No, that
ASU.
was this week.
Yeah,
They
you're
were
right.
3 and
Okay.
0. They were 3 and 0.
Yep, you're
Utah
right.
was 3 and 0. Washington looked like Washington, but whatever.
USC was until they met the defending national champions.
Which was crazy. I want to get you over.
That was
That
a
was
great game.
that dude. That felt like a Rose Bowl game. That felt like
Oh
like
yeah, that
I
was an
know that
instant classic.
yeah, that was really good. I did not expect Michigan needed that win. I was riding with the
Absolutely.
boys. I've been riding with the boys, but they've been like I had not felt. I was hurting. I was like, man, am I
Well,
actually I was like, am I actually becoming a Michigan fan? I was like,
you were
this is
feeling
so
real emotion,
dude, I was like, so I this is me in a nutshell. Week 1, I bet the spread. Didn't cover it. Okay. Week
right?
2, I was like, we're gonna cover the spread. Didn't cover it. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Right. Week 3, I was like, all right, we gotta cover it now. Didn't cover it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I am not betting on Michigan to cover the spread this week. Fucking go out and win. If I would have put money line on them, they were dogs. I was shocked
See,
that they were dogs.
last year was the year to bet on them for covering the spread every single time.
Mm.
This year they I mean they just lost I think 18 guys to the league. Very crucial guys too, our quarterback, a lot of our offensive line, like very key figures. We still
Their
had a lot of
1-2
talent
punch in
left,
the
but
backfield.
yeah, it was obvious though that this year was going to be a step backwards and a rebuilding year. But what was frustrating to me, especially in that Texas game, is they were playing the wrong quarterback. Alex Orji, who got the start this week against USC, was who I wanted in the entire time. He just has the most athletic potential.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm fine. I'm fine if this is going to be a rougher year for us, but at
But
least put
play
in the
the guy.
guy. Yeah, I put in the guy that's going to give us the best chance. And to be honest with you, even if Alex Orji blows it, we have a five-star freshman quarterback. Okay, put him in and let him just develop this
Develop.
year and just make this year all about him getting used to the system and being ready for next year. I'm fine with that. It was just frustrating to me that they were trying to go with this other Warren kid. But Alex Orji, he did what needed to be done. The run game won us the game. Our defense won us the game. So it was a really good win.
Three
It was
point
a nice welcome to the Big Ten for USC because I don't know how much of it you watched, but their guys were going down left and right.
Yeah,
Um,
they are
the
not built.
physicality was getting to them.
Yeah, that was one thing going in, dude. And when everyone I mean, it kind of feels like Ohio State's getting the Big Ten this year, unfortunately. I understand they still have the game to go, but
It's
it
the
just feel
odds.
it feels like that's the trend. Now, if Michigan can maybe do something, man, if Oregon can fucking put together a team that's not
Yeah,
like they
they're a weird team this year.
weird team. I thought they were gonna be way they did not blow out people that they need to blow out. Penn State looked rocky against Bowling Green.
They're so overrated. They're still rated higher than Michigan. And for why? They haven't done shit this
They,
year.
they haven't lost. So it's like
Yeah, but they haven't looked good.
they
And
looked
the
good in
one
their last
loss Michigan has was against a team
that's
that
number
very
one.
well could be the next national
Yeah,
champion, you
I
know?
under I understand what you're saying. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking. Okay, they had a good win against Kent State, but I mean like it's Kent State. If you don't have a good win against Kent State, it's like the Bowling Green win. It's like if you don't have a good win against these like people that you bring in,
The moment
like
they play a big school, they're fucked.
it's like it's kind of like Notre Dame. You pay $1.4 million to lose. Come on, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? Why are we doing that? But yeah, I mean, the only thing really to talk about is Texas is number one, and they looked pretty good with Arch Manning. I understand that. I think Quentin Ewers is really the quarterback you go with, right?
Yeah.
I think
If
bring
he's
him back.
healthy, you go with him right now.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's like the Jordan Love.
Archie is gonna be special.
Yeah, he looked pretty good. Like it's like okay, maybe they've got a
It
team because
drives me a little crazy that after he came in to the game when he got hurt, so he only played part of the game, but when they left that game, they both had the same odds for winning the Heisman. And it's like, okay, get out of here.
he played most of that game. He played more of that game than Quentin Ewers.
But who was it again?
Yeah. Oh,
It,
it
it
was
was,
northern. It was some like
yeah,
who
it was a
was it?
dog shit team.
Yeah, it was some like I don't remember. It was so the fact that we can't even remember the team, that's how bad they were. Let's see. I don't even know. It doesn't even say. Couldn't tell you who they played. So
LA,
oh oh yeah,
Louisiana,
Louisiana. No, that oh then
Monroe.
that's who they played this week, right?
It's a tiny, well,
He
even
started
if
this
it
week.
was who they played this week, he
He
had two
started.
picks against them. So it's not like he had a perfect game.
Yeah. I'm not saying that, but
I would
still.
still ride with Ewers. As
Oh,
soon as Ewers is healthy, you put him back in that game in
yours
that
is
team.
going to be probably the number one pick if the Bears don't
He's
get it. You
crazy
know what I mean?
good.
If the Bears don't get
I'm
if the
just
Bears
glad
get
that he's no longer with Ohio State.
yeah, I wonder what the Jags do if they fall this far. Like they don't look that great. If they fall with that number one pick.
Have they given Trevor Lawrence a long-term deal yet?
Oh yeah, they paid him, remember?
Yeah,
They paid him
that's what
this
I
offseason.
thought. So
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
stuck.
Then that means here we go. Carolina Panthers drafting your
They will have the number one pick for sure. They're
you're
awful.
gonna take it. Like I don't know how you don't take him. Obviously, I don't, who knows? We'll get to that in the NFL. But yeah, and then we've got a big game this week. It's gonna be fun. Georgia, Alabama. It's always fun. It's fun to see big games every week. I don't know. It's just fun to see like you had Michigan, USC last week. It was like cool. Like we're
Hmm.
seeing these games that we don't normally see till week like 9, week 10. Like there's some fun games coming up early this year.
Yeah, no, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about the new conferences because it's just different, but I think so far it's brought more excitement to the game because you are getting these new matchups that you didn't get to see before
Here you
without
go.
it being a bowl game.
This will be Penn State's challenge. I understand they're only playing Illinois, but like Illinois, they're ranked 19th.
Illinois is
They're
decent
a
enough
pretty
to
good team.
actually to beat
Yeah,
them.
it's a pretty good matchup to see like what they do and stuff like that. And then you also got we're gonna see how shitty Notre Dame really is because they play in Louisville, and so like they didn't look that great against fucking you. Who the fuck they played lose to Northern Illinois?
Yeah, that's who they lost to.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
now they're playing Louisville 2 weeks later. Yeah, should be fun. Should be a fun week of college football. But I know that's not why you guys are here. I know that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about the happenings in the one, the only National Football League. We had a pretty, I wanted to say when we were picking the games, a shitty week of football. turned out to be pretty fun. Turned out
Wild
to be a
week of football.
Yeah, turned out to be a pretty fun, wild week of football that I did not expect around the league. Uh, Started off with the Thursday night game. I was like, here we go, Jets. You hate hearing the chant, but they demolished the Patriots.
Their defense is good. Rodgers is obviously getting a lot more comfortable with that offense. They're starting to get going there too. So they're going to be a dangerous team as the season goes on.
Yep, and that's exactly what Jets fans thought they were gonna get, and that was the first iteration of like what they thought the Rodgers team were gonna look like. Now you are a Rodgers hater. I'm a
Yep.
Rodgers stan. We know that he plays really, really well in the regular season. It's when it comes down to the big, big games. Maybe they go to the AFC Championship. Maybe they go to the divisional round. It's like, can he put it together and take the team all the way? That's the real next. That's like the real big
I don't
question.
think so.
I understand their defense is really good though, so it's
Their
like
defense is really good.
if he can play, yeah, that's what I'll say. Yeah. The thing is, they might have to run into my boys. So,
Yeah, we'll see how
um,
much of an Aaron Rodgers stan you are come January.
if they're playing the Steelers, I am an Aaron Rodgers hater.
Thank
Okay.
you.
If they're playing not the Steelers, I'm
I'm
whatever.
going to take advantage of that week on this and really egg
That's
you
in
on to talk shit about them.
that's in 2 weeks. I had three
Oh, you
weeks.
play him in the regular season too.
Play him in the
Yeah, so I'll
regular season
definitely
too.
I'll
Yeah.
do it then too.
Play him in the regular season. But crazy turn of events. Vikings are a team, or the Houston is bad. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
think I think Flores. I almost called him Florio. That is not him. I think Flores has done a great job with this Vikings defense. I think that's what makes them so dangerous. Obviously, they got a weapon like Justin Jefferson, who you could have me out there throwing the ball to him and he's going to tear it up. So that's
And
also dangerous. Sam
they're
Darnold's
I
been playing
yeah.
well.
What say what you want about Aaron Jones? He's still a good running back. Like you know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
he's still
Still a great
threat
running
back
back.
there.
To be honest with you, this is kind of an indictment on Kirk Cousins. Because like, oh, so pretty much anyone can go in there and do really well because the defense is good, because the run game's good. Like you're not actually your stats are overblown and overrated.
He's found a way to hit on Kirk.
Well, Kurt is a bum, and we
He
saw that
doesn't
in the Falcons game.
he
They
doesn't
should
need
definitely bench him for Penix, but we can get there. I'm very impressed with Sam Darnold and this Vikings team because as soon as JJ went down for the year, because I figured he'd come in after a few weeks, I figured, okay, well, there you go. The Vikings are for sure going to suck this year, and they actually look like they're going to be contending with the Lions for the division.
that's
Obviously, the Packers could be in there too, but I am actually right now more worried about the Vikings than I am the Packers.
it's crazy to think that it's funny to think that when we were picking this, I think everyone picked Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings, right? I think that's what everyone said. Or
Usually, or they swapped Bears and
yeah,
Vikings.
but like the fact that like the Bears are the clear probably dogs and that fucking they are
Caleb
whole
Williams is just not good.
dude. It's just the welcome to the NFL. Like you can do as much as you want. You can put as much skill around him. And I don't really think Caleb Williams is like horrible. I don't think he's good, but
Oh,
I don't
his
think
his deep ball is horrible. His
yeah.
decision making is horrible.
But when you've got like maybe 2.5 seconds to make a decision and you're not super prone to making a decision in 2.5 seconds because you've played college ball and you've been this number one person forever. So it's like, whatever, you're gonna get fucking
But that's what I don't get is
sacked.
he's had this hype since he took over at
Oh,
Oklahoma. That's when the hype started. Everyone knew he was going to be the first overall pick whenever he came out. He goes to USC with Lincoln Riley. He never won a big game. He never looked good in a big game.
we have talked
Um,
about this. Me
it
and
drives
you,
me crazy.
yeah, me and you have talked about this multiple times. Like they have not had
And
a
yet they expected him to come in and take him to the next level right away.
yeah, they
So
and
congratulations, Chicago Bears fans, because you went at least the ones that were ready to move on from Justin Fields. You're like, you know what? He's only good with his legs. He's not a very good passer. So let's replace him. And you got a guy who is really only good on his legs and isn't a good passer. So
And
Congratulations.
I think that just a little bit of help, Justin Fields has kind of proved that he's not that bad of a passer. If you, I don't know if you've watched like Steelers games like I have, obviously, but it's like he's
Probably
made,
not naked and holding
yeah,
myself like you, but yes, I have watched
100%.
them.
Yes. But he's making some pretty good throws that like it's like, oh, you give a quarterback a little bit of time in the NFL, like Justin Fields, he might actually be good.
Yeah, I think Justin Fields obviously right now is a much, much, much better passer than Caleb Williams. And obviously that could just be because Williams is a rookie and he's got
Yeah.
to adjust, and maybe he'll get to Fields level too. But yeah, no, Fields is definitely a much better quarterback right now.
And everyone wanted Justin Fields gone, and look what they got. A 1-2 record where they shouldn't have even won the one game.
And it's fine if you think, okay, long term, Caleb is going to climb a higher ladder than Fields would with them, but it's it was the arrogance for me that they thought that they were immediately going to take a step forward and be even better than they were last year. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you definitely put way more weapons around him than you did Justin Fields. Imagine if you did that with Justin Fields.
Yep. Yep. And listen, the one downfall to the Steelers is they don't have that many weapons on offense.
Hmm.
That is their one downfall. They have a really good wide receiver one, and they have a good tight end, and their running back duo is pretty good. But it's like,
And Roman Wilson's still hurt, right?
yeah, he hasn't
Yeah.
played. And so it's like Roman Wilson's still hurt. And so it's like we're like, but then he's taking, we'll get to it. Sorry, guys. We'll get to it in the Steelers. We keep talking about the Steelers, but we're on the Bears. Uh Eagles shocked the Saints. We thought the Saints were who they were. And then we've said it before, Derek Carr, just like, I don't know, that seeing
Yeah, the
it.
Saints were another team that was oddly impressive so far this year until that game.
Yeah.
And they kind of showed how vulnerable they really could be with Derek Carr.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty, and like the Eagles, I think needed that win. They needed it.
Oh, they desperately needed that win.
Yeah, they got it. They got it, which is good. Shock.
Sirianni was getting heat.
Yep. I think this was the, I don't know, probably the most shocking game. The Broncos absolutely landsliding the
Oh,
Buccaneers.
easily the most shocking game this week.
Dude, like I thought the Bucks like, and now granted it's any given Sunday, you put a team out there, they're gonna win. But the
Hmm.
Bucks were looking good. Like they have the weapons, they got their long-term quarterback for like the next 3 years. It's like,
Yeah.
and you go to a team that has no weapons really, besides what's his name, Sutton, I think it is, right? That's their number one
Yeah.
and then it's like
Yep.
you've got a defense who is pretty good. You've got an offense who is learning stuff, but they have a rookie quarterback, so it's not going to be that great. But yeah,
If I'm a Tampa fan, I'm not panicking. Like, to be honest with you, it was a classic trap game. They come off the big win against the Lions. That was a hard fought battle. And they probably just overlooked the Broncos because they haven't looked good at all this year. I mean, they've looked okay.
but
Bo Nix
Nix
has
looked pretty
been
good.
getting better every single week. He actually, oh yeah, in that game he had a great week. What I'm
Yeah,
saying is
he
going
looked
into that week, they completely overlooked him.
100% overlook, which is they're bad. But that's, I think that's the way of the NFL is like you kind of play those trap games. You're looking good, everyone's high on you, and then you just kind of shit the bed. It happens. It happens to the best of us, right?
Every
As
day.
eh, I shit the bed most days. Um, the Packers. You afraid that without Jordan Love, they're still winning?
It is annoying that like they're still winning without Jordan Love because it's like, okay, you never wish injury upon anyone, but the benefit to Jordan Love going down is, okay, the Packers are probably going to fall behind a little bit. Clearly not. Malik Willis has been on a tear. Um, goes and defeats the team that moved on from him in the Tennessee Titans.
Good for
Will
him.
Levis, man, that guy is
Talk about bad decision making.
horrible decision making, probably the worst in the entire league right now.
It's pretty bad. Like I don't know what that guy is seeing out there, but he might be another
So it
season.
was like Will Levis is funny for me because going when he was getting drafted, like to me, it felt like his name kind of came out of nowhere. It's like all of a sudden, come draft season, people were like hyping him up and everything. I'm like, really? Okay, whatever. I wasn't expecting much. And then
Is this a
last year,
UNC guy,
He
Duke guy. Who is he?
no, he was.
McJam, can you help us
I
out
think
there?
he wasn't UNC. He might have been Duke. Um,
He's
it
one of
was
those
it was an
ACC
East Coast
college.
smaller football
Yeah.
program. Um, God, that's gonna drive me crazy because now I don't even think it was
McJam,
Duke.
McJam got us. Don't worry.
Um, he actually had a great rookie year. I was like, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe he's gonna develop into something. But so far
Big
this
Dick
year,
Will.
awful decision making.
Yeah.
Awful.
But I mean, I guess you expect it with a brand new coach. Like I said, it's his first time calling plays at the NFL level. It's probably a combination of that and just like they weren't expected to be that good this year anyways. So it's not really like, but I don't think anyone thought 0-3.
I think he's just been watching too much Carson Wentz tape and it's like, oh, the play's never over. I need to always,
I
keep
think he
trying to
was,
make
yeah.
something happen.
I think he's been trying to watch too much post the 1 year he had that he was almost an MVP candidate. And then like he was
Hmm.
like, oh, I can be the guy at the Colts and I can do really, really well, like the Carson Wentz at the Colts, and it didn't go very well for him. Um this actually might be the most shocking game to me. I understand the Bucks game, but the Panthers. I don't know how shocking it was.
I
Like I know about Mr. Red Rifle himself because he played in our division forever. But
uh-huh.
like, and I know he can win games, and I know how good of a competitor he is, and I understand who he was as like the football player because watching him and hating that they were going 11-5 for so many years. And but man, it makes Bryce Young look that much worse.
Well, yes and no. It definitely doesn't make him look great, but traditionally, most of the time when a team like that is struggling really hard and then they bench the quarterback for like a backup veteran, they usually win the next game. Like there's
I
just
guess we'll
something
see
about it. It gives
the
the team a
next game.
resurgence. It hypes up the locker room, new hope type of a deal. So I wasn't surprised that they won as much as I was surprised at how much they won by.
Yeah, they won by a lot. You know who should trade for Bryce Young? Miami, because they don't got a quarterback.
Well, I agree, except the other guy they could trade for is Russell Wilson.
He's so busy being on the sidelines right now. Like he
you
can't take another job off.
you don't want him to drop his clipboard and come down to Miami?
No way do I want that. Now, I understand you're a big Russ hater, and I get that. But for Justin Fields, there has not been a competitive winning quarterback that he's been able to learn from at the time. Like
And that's who you want him to learn from?
he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, brother.
Yeah, and so is Joe
But
Flacco.
okay, yeah, so is Joe, and he took the Browns, the fucking Browns, to the playoffs again. I hate that guy, and I hate the Browns, but he took it again.
Did he
So
win?
no, but it's the Browns. They
Okay.
need to win. But um, I mean, the thing is, it's like allowing him to just like learn from that and just like I don't know, take away things from that and being able to see the field differently from his point of view. I know you
I mean,
hate him.
yeah, no, I get you. No, if I was a Steelers fan, I'd feel the same way. Yes, I am just a gigantic Russell Wilson hater.
I understand.
Um,
I
I
understand.
just think I just think there's no reason to ever hand the reins over to Russ
I
from
don't,
Justin,
and
even
yeah,
if
I don't
Justin loses the next game. I don't think it's time to move on. Um, so to me, it's like, well, a desperate team might give you
a good pick.
something good to get Russ. Now, the problem is Miami doesn't sound desperate. They don't sound like they're really looking to replace Tua right now. They're expecting him back. So we'll see how that goes for them.
Yeah.
I that's a team that going into the season I thought for sure was going to be a strong playoff contender. You got Tyreek Hill, you got Jalen Waddle, you have two studs for running backs. Like
Defense is
and the
solid.
defense is pretty good. So it's like, yeah, Tua shouldn't have to do much. But even before he got hurt,
He just has to stay on the
they
field.
weren't looking that good.
Yeah, he
So
just got to stay on the field. Like
I,
that guy.
I it's not good for Miami right now.
Um, Man, I maybe this is the shocker of I don't know. This week was crazy. The Rams in a last ditch effort kicking a field goal to beat the 49ers, and the Rams have nobody. Like literally, like they were like saying they were like what's his name? What's your boy? Stafford throws to, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Well, everyone's hurt.
Yeah.
Um,
They were like, oh, yeah, fucking Jordan Whittington,
Never heard of him. I
Demarcus
unfortunately wasn't able to
Robinson.
watch a lot of the afternoon games live because I was at the Cardinals Lions game, but they were every so often in the game they were updating you on what was going on with the other games going on at that time.
Mhm.
And it was crazy to get the update on the 49ers and Rams. And then by the time our game was over, to go and check the score and see that the Rams had come back and won because they updated us what felt like late in the fourth and they were down by, I want to say, at least 10 at the time. So it was just like, oh, damn, the 49ers are going to win this one. But Rams did it. I love it. Screw the 49ers. I want to see them continue to fall.
I'm okay with that too. I think that man, I think it proved. I know it's 3 weeks, 3 weeks, but 3 weeks is a lot. In the NFL, because if you 3 weeks is a lot, lose whatever. But man, they should have traded Ayuk.
Oh, yes. He
They
has
they should have
been
traded.
MIA
They
when it
should have traded
matters.
Ayuk. Have Debo be your number one, and then dude,
Hmm.
Juan Jennings is absolute dog. Like he takes over
Crazy.
for what Ayuk was. Like you just like
And
you
you
let
have Ricky Pearsall, who obviously
yeah
is probably still recovering from his gunshot, but he's gonna step in there too.
100%. But you let you. This is the whole point of a number two is you use them until they show that they're going to be a number one, or they're just going to be a number two that you're just going to be able to keep as a really good number two. Maybe okay, Ayuk showed he could probably be a number one last season. You let him go get his money. You don't pay him, and you take a Jawan Jennings who's doing the best, and you're paying him probably next to nothing compared to the other guys.
Well, that's what's so crazy too is Ayuk had one crazy elite year. Last year was like his best year significantly.
And I know McJam hates this because he's an ASU boy, so he must hate us.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, he also probably hates seeing him on the rival of the Cardinals.
Also, McJam, where the fuck is this? Where did Will Levis go to college?
Oh yeah, come on, McJam, answer.
McJam,
Where
where the
did Will
fuck? Where
Levis
are
go?
you on right now? Are you even with us? Are you a 10? Are you? Oh,
University of
Kentucky.
Kentucky. I knew it was a white and blue school. Thank you, McJam.
Thank you,
Um,
McJam. Oh,
so yeah, he obviously went to a
yeah,
nothing
he
football
but
program.
yeah, he needs like they. I don't know. Maybe Brock Purdy. It just shows the reps were not there, and the reps got somewhere else. And now, obviously, having Ayuk on your team is talent, whatever, all those good things. But he should be a
I'm sure he'll get better as the season goes
he should
on.
be a Steeler. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, to be honest with you though, like would he really be doing better as a Steeler right now? Because
Yeah, no,
like I
that
think a
doesn't.
lot of this just has to do with the fact that he took so much time off.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, as a GM, I guess you guess you don't really know what you have, but it's like Juwan Jennings probably had an outstanding OTA and offseason.
Yeah,
And
but
so
you got to remember they tasted a Super Bowl. They were so close. They didn't want to break up the gang, especially because they're going to have to no matter what in order to pay Brock Purdy, in order to
they have to do
uh
something.
yeah, they have so many high profile guys that they're just not going to be able to keep them all. So like they
He's
had
gonna
to
take it.
go quote unquote Jerry Jones actual all in on
Yeah.
this season.
He's gonna take a team friendly deal though. Um
Who, Brock?
yeah.
I mean, maybe relatively team friendly, but if you don't think he's getting at least 55 million a year, you're crazy. Like he's for sure getting at least that.
Here you go, buddy. You can talk about your Kirk hate now. Go ahead. The
Okay,
Falcons
perfect.
the shoot.
Michael Penix, anytime you want to come in, if I'm a Falcons fan, I would take it because Kirk honestly is not it. I don't know if it's just the fact that he's always been subpar, despite his stats, or if it's just the fact that he's still recovering from the Achilles injury, but he looks not not great. Not a lot of movement back there. Just to be honest with you, I don't know if he even plays this game if they don't come back and win um, the week before.
Wow, you think they bench him that quick?
I think if the Falcons were like not winning, I think they do. I think they do move on. But because he
Wow.
had that great, 2-minute drive to come
Yeah.
back and win, uh, that kind of saved him a bit.
But he had the chance to do it right here too. Now we
Yeah, and
can
he didn't
blame
look
some
good.
of it on the refs. We can blame the one missed no call on the refs, but they still got the ball
They had multiple opportunities though.
and they were within, I think it was like 7 yards or something like that, maybe 15 yards, whatever that last play was, like the last couple, that last fourth down play. They were
Hmm.
within a score. They were well within, not a Hail Mary to like absolutely win the game with a couple seconds left on the clock, and they could not convert a fourth down, which is tragic because you hate to see the Chiefs barely squeak by at these wins. Like, because
Yeah, that was annoying. Once again, I was rooting for him to do that. I wanted to see him make the comeback on the Eagles, and he did. And I was rooting for him to make the comeback on the Chiefs, and he's just, I don't know. I think anyone who is a big Kirk fan is just lying to themselves, thinking that he's better than average.
yeah, you just hate to see these like they should have lost the Bengals game. They should have lost this Falcons game, and they should have lost the Ravens game. Like you just hate to see the Chiefs, who are going for a three-peat, like squeak by these early week wins because you know that they only get better as it goes. Like
They
they
will get
only
better as it goes, but to be honest with you, yeah, it's defeating that they're winning, but doesn't it kind of give you hope to see that they are so vulnerable?
no, because they were vulnerable. They were vulnerable the first like 4 weeks last year too.
I mean, they lost to the Lions last year, but then they went on a 3-game winning streak after that. So I don't
Maybe.
know.
I don't
To
know.
me,
They
to me, what I like to see is the fact that Travis Kelsey is just not doing well.
yeah.
That's a good sign for the rest of the league, but specifically the AFC.
Yeah, it's good. I like that a lot. The Bills, man, we thought that they were gonna be bad.
Shocking.
We
Yeah, I
thought
thought
they
they
were,
were going to take a
and
step back.
they're just they should have won their second game. Are they 3-0? They're 3-0.
Yeah, they're 3-0. Yeah.
Yeah, they're 3-0. They like
Technically, they should have lost their
their
first game
first
against
game.
the
Yeah,
Cardinals. They
yeah,
they came back, they got it together, and then the last two they've looked really good.
that's right. They played Thursday night last week, right? Or the Thursday night
Yes.
game, I think, yeah. And
And,
they
and okay, and
ooh,
specifically, you know who's playing so well? Damar Hamlin. Damar Hamlin, I think, has 2 picks on the
one.
year.
He's one.
One? I thought he had two.
He had his first one this game.
He didn't have two in that game.
I don't
I
know.
thought he picked off. I thought he picked off
I'll check right
Trevor
now.
Lawrence, and then he picked off Mac Jones. I
No,
could be wrong.
this was his first. This was his first like pick was
Okay,
in this game because everyone was talking about it.
but he didn't have two of them.
I don't think so, brother.
Okay.
I
Well, not
might.
only, yeah, Damar Hamlin's having a great year for them on defense. Josh Allen is dishing out the ball, giving it to everybody on the offense, and they're looking really good.
Yeah,
I
one
was definitely
interception.
not high on the Bills going into this season, and they're proving that once again they're going to be a top contender in the AFC. Right now, I would say Bills, Steelers, Chiefs are definitely the top three in the AFC without a doubt.
Were you ever gonna say that the Steelers were gonna be in the top three of their division?
That's another thing I did not think I would say.
Yeah. And then the team that everyone thought had the chance to win the AFC North with the Ravens, 0-3.
So I had this conversation with my brother before this game, because I know he had a good game this week. But
Mhm.
I said to him after week two that I think we may have already seen peak Joe Burrow.
Year
Um,
two was we peak Joe Burrow.
I think year two may have been peak Joe Burrow
That's
because
crazy.
I last year awful. Okay, blame it on injuries. What when you take the field, I don't care. When you take the field, you have to play good, and he looked awful last year. But he made it on my never drafting on my fantasy team list again
Yeah, I
after
put him.
last
I
year.
have him in my fucking dynasty league, dude.
Yeah. And so I get that he did have a much better week three. He looked good this week. It was more on the defense for why they lost, but I don't know. I just have not been impressed with Joe
Also,
Burrow since
I
their
think
Super
it
Bowl
was.
run.
I think it was just more on good, dude. Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury are doing something special with that kid over there. They're doing
Jalen
something.
Daniels looked good.
They're
I
doing
mean,
something special.
it's obviously on the defense when Jalen Daniels and that offense never punted and they scored on every drive.
100%, 100% on the defense. He looked good though. He's making good plays. He looked like he was every quarterback talks about. He looked like he had a great rhythm. He has a great rhythm with that team. He's able to throw the ball. Like I think it was good to get rid of Dotson to just like have this guy who it's like, hey, McLaurin's gonna get is gonna get everything. Not like, but it's like he's gonna get all the attention. So it's
He's the
like
clear number one. Yeah.
yeah, let's not like mince it and just do. And it was he looked really good, dude. He
He's
looked
great on his feet.
yes. I mean
His
20
running touchdowns in week two were very impressive.
dude 21 for 23 with 254 yards. That is
Yeah.
like you
He's going to
can't
be special.
ask for more. Like this is what everyone thought Caleb Williams was gonna do.
Justin's not here, and I know he didn't put a lot of stake in what the Commanders were going to be this year, but honestly, he needs to take them seriously now. They look like a
They're
threat.
tied with the Eagles and I technically I
Yeah.
think they're number
The
one.
Cowboys are in dead last in that division.
No, the Giants,
Yeah,
brother. The Giants.
they have the same record.
That's so oh yeah, I guess that's right. They're tied with the
And
Eagles.
guess what? They play tomorrow night, and we'll get to determine who is the worst in that division right now.
Wow, Chris knows the Thursday night game. You didn't even
I
get a
know the Thursday night
suspense.
game.
You didn't even get a suspense. But I think it's only right that you brought up Justin. And like we said, he's not here. He was holding his head in his hands after last week's loss. I think it's only right that we turn ourselves to the one, to the only Justinless Cowboy corner, and we get it started off right like there's no tomorrow and talk about how shitty the Cowboys look after paying Dak or after paying CD, after paying
Paying both, really.
both. Yeah, I guess technically paying Dak and but CD, after paying all these people, after giving big old McCarthy another chance, 1-2.
Yeah.
One and
So
two.
after week one, everyone wanted to say, and we talked about it. Once again, it's like Super Bowl contenders after week one type of a deal.
You beat the
And they
fucking
did look, they
Browns.
look great.
You beat the
They
Browns.
beat the Browns, but they beat the
You
Browns in such dominating fashion, well-rounded football that
You know who else beat the Browns in their
I'm with
division?
you.
You know who else beat the Browns? We need to
Yeah,
talk
that's
about that
true.
game. You know who else
The
beat the Browns in
Giants.
their division? The fucking Giants, okay?
Yeah. So yes, I agree. As time has gone on, that game has become less impressive. But at the time, it was very impressive. And then they just get steamrolled by the Saints and Alvin Kamara specifically. And then again this week with the Ravens and Derrick Henry. So what we've learned is that defense is soft against the run. They cannot stop the run, which as a Lions fan, that makes me very excited
As
because
a
that's what
Steelers
we do
fan,
best. That's
as a
what you
Steel
do best. Like if I'm a Cowboys fan right now, I'm very nervous about the next
couple
4 to 5 games because
yeah.
they play the Steelers, they play the Lions, they play the 49ers, and one or other two
They
teams that are
and
going to be pretty
and
hard.
what sucks for them is that he's like, oh, we always beat the Giants. It's a divisional game, does not fucking matter. They're
Yeah,
coming off
divisional
of
games does not
they're
matter.
coming off a big win
Yeah.
for them. They had no like everybody. I picked them. I was a believer. And everyone knows I'm a Danny Dimes stan.
Are you
Um,
really a believer or are you just that much of a Browns hater?
I think you're correct.
Okay.
But they play the Giants. They looked like shit. They could not. It was, and what I love about this game was week one, 0-1 Ravens. If you thought that we were going to bring Derrick Henry here and just feed him the ball 25 times and let him run and not do that, no. Week two, 0-2. If you, okay, maybe we should do it. Week three, We're going to
Yeah.
give Derrick Henry the ball 25 times, let him run for 151 yards because you paid the man to do that. You open up Lamar to when he has the ball to be electric by running or just throw the ball. Like he's got a good arm. He's accurate. It's like you're giving him now the chance to just not have the ball. Like Caleb Williams threw the ball 54 times last week. What the fuck was that about? You're not giving Lamar, you're not making Lamar in that same sense do that. This game was I think 21-3 going into halftime. So like
Hmm.
the second half was a little bit weird. The second half, yeah, it was 21-3 going in, 21-6 going into halftime. And they gave up a bunch of big points in that last quarter. But man, they just like they don't. And then Dak and CD are still mad at each other or whatever it is, whatever happened or whatever's going on, right? Who knows? But they just don't look like a team that is going to be bound for the Super Bowl when the NFC the NFC kind of looks wide open.
NFC is definitely wide open. Uh, and you know me, I'm a big Dak hater. I jump at the opportunity to criticize Dak, but this isn't on Dak. Dak played really well. He put the balls where they needed to be. This this most recent loss is absolutely on CD Lamb, who has not lived up to the money that he got paid. Um, and the defense and that run defense and Micah Parsons, like you can't blame this on Dak. Dak has played really well.
I don't know, 28 for 50. The fact that you're making Dak throw it
O-
51 times is insane.
okay, well that's because they have no run game,
Yeah.
and
And they
to
were
be honest,
losing.
those stats are deceiving because yes, he doesn't have the completions he needs to have, but that's because you got guys like C.D. Lamb who are dropping balls.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he was.
like to be
I mean,
honest, CD was awful in
I
that
didn't
game.
I didn't watch the game because I hate these are two teams that I don't really like. But
I had to
11
watch it after the
uh,
Lions
uh,
game. I was like, I need to see
11
this.
11 targets for
Hmm.
Ferguson, 6 receptions, and 7 targets for Lamb and 4 receptions. Now I don't know who that's on. I don't know if that's drop balls or whatever, but the fact that you're targeting those people that many times and they have less receptions combined than they have at one person target, that's a pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, no, they definitely need to figure their shit out. CD needs to get with the program. I don't know if it was because he was holding out or whatnot, but he is just not on the same page with Dak. And that run defense needs to toughen up
This is
because
exactly
they're about to get destroyed.
this is exactly like this is what scares me a little bit that the Ravens are going to this metric because this is exactly what you want. 12 for 15, 182
Hmm.
yards from Lamar
Hmm.
with 87 yards running. That's exact and then Derrick Henry
That's
running for 151 yards. That
yeah,
is all that team is
that's the
like
recipe to win.
that is
I
going
don't
back
get why they weren't doing that week one, week two.
that's going back to when the Titans were freaking crazy good and they had no quarterback and they had what's his name over there? Who the fuck was over there that they traded away? AJ Brown. They had AJ Brown,
Hmm.
crazy trade. Talk about a horrible trade. But they had AJ Brown and they had Tannehill and it was perfect. Like you know that he's gonna get the ball 30 times, but you can't do anything to stop it because he's Derrick Henry. He's older
He's
now,
a
but
bulldozer.
he's still gonna have two more good years on him. And
So
this team
it
now
like
looks scary.
it had to be infuriating watching that game as a Cowboys fan, seeing that you have absolutely no run game, and then seeing Derrick Henry, who Jerry Jones didn't even give a phone call to this
That's
offseason, just
crazy.
run all over you.
Yeah.
Like that because that's the thing is it's not like Derrick Henry was asking for crazy money. They could have had him. They could have had him. Jerry Jones comes out and says, "Oh no, we couldn't afford him." Bullshit. You could have had him. You have the cap space.
This is also scary. This is if I was a Cowboys fan, I'd be concerned about this. So 12 for 15, right? Perfect, right? You run the ball. This
Hmm.
is why it's also scary. Aguilar had one catch for 56 yards, and Kohler had one catch for 30 yards. That's
So
some
their
scary
deep ball
stats.
game is also not good.
You know why it's probably not that good because Derrick Henry is running it so many times that it opens up those deep balls.
Yep,
Just
absolutely.
so scared like that right this team right here now like I was like okay I
And
was
Diggs hasn't been that good this year.
nope I was so thankful that the Ravens came out and said we're not gonna do that. Why would we run the ball that many times? And now like seeing this I'm like
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Now they
hate my
probably
life.
learned.
Yeah, I'm gonna hate my life. Like you run the ball that many times, you give him that many touches, and you let Lamar do that. Throw 20 times, complete 85% of them because they're going to be nice, easy throws, or it's going to be a nice open long ball. And then you let Lamar also run 14 times for 87 yards. It's like obviously they can't stop the run, apparently. 274 yards running. It's a lot of
Yeah, they
yards.
can't stop it at all.
Yeah, that. So Cowboys, man, figure it out. Get your shit together. Understand what's going on. Understand you're a team that everyone talked about could be a playoff team. I'm not saying that they're not gonna be a playoff team, but it's like after you
Yeah,
have
it's
that.
still too early to write them off, but it is not looking good.
But when you're talking about a team that potentially could is most likely going to be in the playoffs, and if you went to the Super Bowl, you could see a team like this, and you get trounced like that. And like I said, the score very much does not determine what the game looked like,
Right.
but scary, 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 scary. I think it's I we still have not named this segment that we're coming into.
It's the kneecap diner, baby.
Oh, we're back to it, baby.
It's
Well,
been rebuilt.
we have a brand new establishment, a
New
brand
building, new menu, new management.
nope,
It's
same management,
beautiful.
same management,
Okay, same man, you're right. Same
same
management,
management,
new yeah,
same management, but went to a couple leadership conferences to get their skills better.
right.
They brought in some new talent. They have a culture that is undeniable that when you sit down at this restaurant, all you want to do is run your head straight into a brick wall for the man that went to the conferences and got better for himself and his team. And we are turning ourselves to the kneecap diner. We are cutting the ribbon today. We're opening it for business because, baby, you guys look good.
I appreciate that absolutely. And 90% of this segment's going to be very positive. So I'm just going to start with some negativity real quick
Ooh.
because I feel like as the resident Lions fan here, I have to call out a small section of my own fan base right now. So I don't know if you've seen this, but Dan Campbell had to move.
Well,
Did you see that?
what a shitty thing to do to the guy who's creating a culture, a brand new establishment in your beautiful town of Detroit, and you're gonna do this man like that?
Well, he ain't living in Detroit. But
Where's he living?
oh, he's definitely in like Bloomfield Hills. Um,
Is that in Detroit proper?
no one says that. It would be considered Metro Detroit, but it like outskirts of Metro Detroit. Like it's where Eminem has his mansion and shit. Um,
But he's got to
and
move from.
so
He's got to. You're making this man move away from Eminem.
yeah. Well, so apparently what happened was after the 49ers game, um, a classmate of his daughter's, some stupid ass kid, doxed them and put their address out there. So then you have stupid people showing up on their property or sending uh like handymen to the house, that they don't need type of shit. Like just stupid shit like that. And that drives me crazy because it's like, really? We're gonna do that to the guy who like gave us more hope than we've ever had in decades and decades and decades.
Because of
Like
one
we've seen
loss.
Matt Patricia take a team that was promising and run them into the fucking ground. We've seen this team go 0-16. Obviously, this kid hasn't in high school. He wouldn't have really been around, probably a really young thing. So
How
like
long ago is that?
that was 2008. And so they would have been born, but probably very, very young. And so like the kids that are part of the fan base, they don't know the long suffering that the rest of the fan base does. So
Yeah,
I'll
get it together, kids.
I'll give this stupid ass kid a little bit of grace, even though that's a shitty thing to do to someone. But like these grown ass people who think it's okay because they found the address to show up and harass the property and the family of a guy who has literally given us our first playoff win in 30 fucking years, who took us to an NFC championship game. Like, I don't care if we win the Super Bowl this year or in the next few years, this past season will still always be special because we got over the playoff hump, because we made it so far. Like, and that's how we're going to fucking treat the guy. So anyone who's involved in that situation, please do the rest of us fans a situation
Fuck
or
off.
no, more than that. Go take a fucking bubble bath with your toaster because you're fucking worthless as a person and you're not a true Lions fan.
All right. We don't speak for the whole podcast.
We fucking do. Fuck
All right.
those
Well,
people.
but also
Um,
before you move on, who the
yep.
fuck is showing up to I would
Losers.
be I would be scared shitless to just show up to Dan Campbell's. That guy's scary. That guy is like
Well, apparently
intimidating.
it started when he wasn't even back there yet. He was still in California, and his daughter is like seeing people start to pull up in front of the property. And it's like, you really have nothing fucking better to do than to, like, no matter what. Let's say we're still a shit show franchise. You're really gonna do that to someone? Like, that's fucked up. But let alone a guy who's actually taking this team in the right direction, who we're getting so close to what we've been craving for so long, and that's how you're gonna treat him? Fuck you. Get the fuck
You're
out of here.
you're a little controversial right now, or like
No, I'm
or
not. I
not
think a
controversial.
genuine true
Controversial
Lions
was
fan would agree with me and say fuck
a,
those
a
people.
controversial was the wrong word. I was looking for whatever flip flop. What the fuck is contradictive? You just said that the people that showed up to his house should put themselves in a bubble bath and put a toaster in it, and then you
Yep.
said that if even if the Lions are doing bad, you shouldn't do it to a person at all. A little,
How is that contradictive? What
not
I'm
not.
saying is, even if we were shitty and not winning a single game, you don't do that to someone, let alone the guy who's giving us better results than we've ever had, ever in my lifetime for sure. And in most Lions fans' lifetimes,
Okay,
for
my bad. You
sure.
you would still want them to take a bubble bath, even if you were like 0-5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
That's
No,
ridiculous.
we're on the same page now. We're on the same page. I'm with you. I'm with you. Get yourself a nice bubble bath and just maybe don't fully die, but go to the hospital.
Certainly fuck on out of here and go be a fan of some other team because you're a piece of shit.
Go be a Bears
Um,
fan. Go be a Bears fan.
yeah, please. But moving on, let's focus on some positivity here because I'm very happy with this team at 2-1. Obviously the loss week 2 against Tampa was not great. Wasn't happy about that. We should have won that game, and our offense just was not playing well. But the thing that makes me hopeful about this 2-1 team is the defense. The defense has been playing so good, so good.
Aaron
And
Glenn,
last
he's
year
got to move it.
I would say that our defense was the thing that was holding us back, specifically the secondary. Our secondary is playing phenomenal, besides for Arnold's rookie mistakes, getting pass interference calls because he's not turning his head. He's learning, he's going to get better, he's going to develop, but like, I'm very, very high on this Detroit Lions defense right now.
It is a little bit like it is a little bit funny too because the Lions obviously they had their history of stuff like that, but then you hit on such a hit of Dion Branch, and then you're like, oh, dude, we got this other guy in the secondary. He's gonna be, and then it's like, oh, wait a minute, they're still rookies. Branch is
Yeah.
this freak athlete that just
Branch is a
happened to,
freak who just came into the league as a
yeah,
rookie,
like,
really ready to play.
yeah,
Terrian's going to get there. He's making some rookie mistakes for sure, but I love how he's playing. I love Carlton Davis. Like, these guys are playing so good.
yeah.
I had the fortunate opportunity to be at the game this week, Cardinals Lions. It was awesome. It was great. Great atmosphere. Defense played lights out, like I said. The offense was fun to watch in the first half. Second half, it became kind of a little bit more of a boring defensive game in the second half, but there was a lot of still exciting moments. McJam, who is our devout Cardinals fan here on this pod, is not going to like this, but I have never loved a 2-minute warning more than I did in that moment. Like, watching that live, it was like, oh shit, he's going down. Just don't try and throw the ball. Oh, he's trying to throw the ball. Oh, it got tipped. Oh my God, he just caught. And as soon as he caught it, like, you just knew, like, you could see. It's like, that's going to be a pick six. And it was just that was so deflating. And then immediately when they call it back, they're like, no, 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 actually, clock hit the 2 minute warning before the play was ever snapped. It was just like, really? Okay, replay. Oh, oh, okay. It did. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. That was a
Thank
2 minute
you.
warning. Thank you.
Thank you,
Because
Zebras. Thank you.
something like that would, in my lifetime, would always go against the Lions. The Lions would always be the team to get the pick six and then say, oh, nope, it was the 2 minute warning. So for that to just work out in their favor, that was so lucky and beautiful because that was a bad mistake by Goff. And to be honest with you, that is actually the lowest point on this team so far this year has been Jared Goff. He played great last year, but this year so far, I haven't been as impressed. He definitely needs to clean it up. He's making some sloppy mistakes out there. And I do have faith that he'll get it together. But to be honest with you, that is the weakest part of our team right now is him because our defense is great. Our run game is phenomenal, damn near unstoppable. And then, um,
It's annoying. I like the Lions because of how bad they've been. I like to see their success.
mhm,
It's kind of annoying how good their run game is. It's just kind of annoying that
it's
like
unreal. The
it's
O
it's it
line and then two backs that are complementary.
that it's just you if this was on another team, you would kind of be annoyed too because
Yeah.
it's kind of just like this fucking sucks. It's like, oh, we're gonna take the power back out. It's like, cool, we got oh, okay, yeah, we got this fucking guy coming in who can not only catch the ball on you, but make you miss an open field, who can kind of run hard through you too.
Oh yeah, he can
He's
break
not
a
a
tackle too.
he's not a
He's not
Montgomery,
Montgomery,
but
but he can break a tackle.
and it's like, oh, awesome. It's like awesome. You can still play power back with your shifty back in there. That's fucking cool.
And that hook and ladder play between him and St. Brown was the most exciting play of football I've ever gotten to witness live. Like that was insane. And it was on the end zone that I was sitting at. So it had a great view of it. I'm actually surprised I can talk for this podcast because leaving that stadium, my voice was very hoarse. I did a lot of wooing. I was a woo girl.
Woo, 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 woo. Did you you're a little bit of Zack Ryder? Woo woo woo.
Oh,
Did you
absolutely. But no, that was an amazing game. And shout out actually real quick to the Cardinals and the Cardinals fans. I thought it was a great atmosphere. There wasn't, you know, dickheads trying to fight or anything. And maybe that was because of how many Lions fans there were, that it was like a yeah, I'm not gonna fuck with the away team this week because it's pretty even numbers. But also I felt a little lucky. You know, I'm a jersey guy. I like a good uniform, and I was lucky enough to see the Cardinals in their pretty sick all blacks. The helmets were cool, the
pretty
jerseys were
sexy?
cool. It looked really sweet. So that was really cool, and they played a phenomenal game. Like I'm very impressed with the Cardinals this year. They should have beat the Bills. They destroyed the Rams. And then they played a damn good game against the Lions. They let it get away from them a little bit in the end of the first half, but they almost came back and made it stressful for me there at the end. So they've been
Talk,
playing great, a lot better than I expected this year.
talk about a division that could go to any team.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the only struggle with the Cardinals right now because like there's there's no reason to be down on this team if you're a Cardinals fan, despite the
No.
record. Like you look really good. The problem is the rest of your division is just really tough. I think they should be happy that the Rams came back and beat the Niners.
Yep.
Um, and I saw something after the game that made me laugh. I think I sent it to you guys. It was a Cardinals fan all pissed off because once again they couldn't beat the Lions. The Lions seem to have their number, but now as a Lions fan, I'm a little nervous going into this week because we're playing Seattle, and Seattle always seems to have our number. And so it's just kind of one of those things where there's always a team that isn't in your division, but every time you play them, you just can't seem to get over the hump against them.
Oh, I know too well about that. The amount of times that we've gotten so close to the Super Bowl but got knocked out by the Patriots is just fucking. And like that's when we were
Hopefully that
really
era is over though.
please. That was when we were really really good though. Like that was when
Yeah,
like we
crazy good.
were like it was AFC Championship, AFC Championship, AFC, and it was just like again, a fucking again. which you probably felt with the Seahawks. Like again,
Yeah.
again.
It doesn't matter if the team's good or bad, they'll get you.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yep.
it's like the Cardinals with the Cowboys. They always seem to take care of the Cowboys really well.
Yep. Anything else you want to say about your boys?
No, not really. I'm just really excited for our Monday night game where we get to unveil our all black jerseys. I think that's going to look sick.
Ooh,
It's a little nerve-wracking going against Seattle. Like I said, they have our number, but I'm hoping that Monday night is going to bring a very, very, very rowdy and loud Ford Field crowd. And we're gonna get the win there. And that's the other thing, real quick, is the Lions fans were so loud against the Cardinals that in their own home stadium, the Cardinals were in silent count for their offensive snaps. And
that's
I just,
cool.
shout out to I dogged on a small section of the Lions fans to start the segment, but that's huge for the Lions fans right there,
That
impacting
is.
the game.
That is huge. Well, I hope you have your hard hat, buddy, because we're going to the only 3-0 team in this podcast.
Which is wild.
Wild baby. Well, we are. Okay, baby. We are 3-0. And we are playing Steelers football. That is
Yeah.
nice to see after the last 2 years. We're playing Steelers football. We're I know that he had an interception this week and it's his first turnover, but it's like we're playing, which you're never gonna assume that a quarterback's gonna go 0 turnovers for the whole season, right? You just hope they
Hmm.
minimize the amount of
Of course.
turnovers that they have. But it's like nice to see. It's like our defense was great. Okay. And then they were like, you know what we should do? We should go out and get our division rivals best linebacker. I think that would be the best pick. And he is a dog. That guy is so fun to watch. He is so good.
Now that he's wearing your jersey, he's fun to watch.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, dude. Yeah. But it's like he is so good. It's crazy to see that that's what we were kind of missing. And that's where we were missing is our linebacker core is a
Mhm.
strong linebacker, not like a D end or a hand down linebacker, a linebacker that could play. He made this crazy play. I think it was like week 1 where he shot the gap and just absolutely annihilated the guy. And I was like, wow, okay. I was like, all right, cool. I guess this is what we are now. And the Deontay Johnson trade, we got this guy named Jackson in the backfield. And not in the backfield, in our secondary as a cornerback to uh counter Joey Porter Jr. And I was a little questioned. I was like, I don't know. He's played pretty good the first 3 games. And I was like, okay. I was like, getting someone off the team that I didn't like, and then getting a secondary guy where it's like, cool, all right, we have Minka still back there. We've got obviously TJ doing their thing. Like they just, and then to see Highsmith go down and you're like, oh no. But then to Herbig come in and get 2 sacks, you're just like, okay, cool. We're just firing on all cylinders. Like we are
And
just
pretty
like,
soon you're gonna get Cam always getting burned Sutton back too to add to that
nope,
secondary.
no, 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 don't talk, don't. 8 weeks, baby. We've got 8 weeks.
Is that
We got
really a suspension?
8 weeks.
Damn. I thought it
So
was less than that. Wow.
no, no, no. We've got 5 more weeks to not talk about that. He comes back in our bye week. So but hey, listen, I don't have like literally, I'm just like, cool. I'm riding this because it's the Steelers. We're obviously gonna lose a game. You're not gonna go 0 and you're not gonna go 18, 17-0, but
Hmm.
it's fun to
I'm just
see.
readjusting.
I see that, baby. You're looking comfy now. Ooh, had to show us you were smart, huh? Had to put
Oh,
the
I don't
bookcase
read.
back there.
That's for
Had to.
show.
Okay, yeah, I like it. But yeah, it looks good. I think I can't comment the defense more and more and more. It's like it's nice to see that it's nice to see. Okay, cool. We're gonna let a team. I think they've averaged 8.7 games against or 8.7 points against the whole season, which is a crazy stat for 3 games, 8.7 points against. It's like that's what we're averaging. Okay, I almost can guarantee that we can score a touchdown and a field goal. Now, longevity wise, is that gonna like we got to see about what happens throughout the year? But it's nice to see that our defense is still our defense, and then to have
Yeah.
our offense be our offense and like dude, it's I when going in, I was like, our offense is gonna be weird. We got Russell starting all these things. Then Justin Fields started. I am I have the weirdest like quarterbacks that I'm like really big fans of. Don't know why. I've been the biggest Justin Fields fan ever since he was in Chicago. We've talked about this. I wanted him so bad as a Steeler. Say what you want about Artie Smith over at Atlanta. Maybe he wasn't the problem over there. Maybe he was. Who knows? They're 1-2. They still don't look that great. They got Kirk, whatever you want to do. They paid him all that money. They're still 1-2. We beat them. And his offense just looks good. Like it's finally like maybe that's coming from a guy who saw Matt Canada's offense for the last 2, 3 years, and you're like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But his
Yeah,
his
you were
offense,
miserable during that.
yeah, his offense looks good. His offense looks fun. Like Calvin Austin is just absolutely so fast. And then we got the little white guy, Scotty Miller, doing his thing.
I'm a big Scotty Miller fan. I
Doing his
loved
thing.
him when he was on the Bucks with Brady. So I'm a big Scotty Miller fan. I think he's fun to watch. He's fast.
Seeing the adaptation of what they're doing with Cordell Patterson. It's nice to have just another really good weapon back there, doing his thing. Obviously Firemouth, obviously Pickens. Like we just look like we're playing Steelers football, which is nice. Haven't seen Steelers football in a really long time, to be honest. Like I haven't just seen like because I mean, even when they had Ben the last couple of years, he was still throwing like 50 times a game. It's like that is not Steelers football. We don't throw 50 times a game. Like Justin Fields threw 30 times this game, but Najee also ran 18 times. Like it's nice to see they've obviously have a clear number one. I did not think that was going to be the case going into the season. I thought it was going to be a dual back, but Najee's been taking most reps. Like he's been
Yeah, yeah, he's actually looked pretty good this year. And
like,
I am super impressed with the Steelers and the defense. But what I need to see for me to believe is I need to see you guys when you're down. I want to see you guys when you're down by 10 or more points
yeah,
because
what that looks
it's
like.
easy to play decent on offense when you know your defense is just shutting them the fuck down and you're either tied or you have some sort of a lead. But I want to see you down coming out of the halftime and seeing what your offense does because Justin's been playing great, but it's because all he's needed to do was game manage. What happens when the defense has a rough day and he needs to
Yeah.
win the game? I want to see
Well,
that.
okay, game manages a stretch. He went for 245 yards this week.
Oh yeah, no, he had a great week this week.
Yeah.
But like the first we've kind of been talking, these first few weeks in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just yeah.
I will say that he definitely it's gonna be interesting to see. We technically were down going into half this week.
But
We were
by
down
what?
3 points.
Yeah.
We were down.
That doesn't really change your game plan.
No, not really. But it's nice to see, and it was like it was a 10-point win and it's just like when their defense had when they're off. Do you know how many yards their offense had in the second half?
Mm-mm.
Take a guess.
Uh
Second half
Second half, we're talking total, just offensive
total
yards.
offensive yards. Hey, Jam,
Uh
stat
200.
stat stat check me, please. Stat check me. I think I'm almost positive it was -5 yards in the
I'm
second
sorry,
half.
what?
Negative
The
5 yards.
Steelers?
This no no no. I mean
Oh.
the Chargers. I didn't say
Oh, the
how much did the
Chargers.
Steelers
Okay,
give up?
sorry. I misheard
No no
that.
no. How much did the Steelers give up? -5 yards
In the second half total.
total.
Yikes. I mean, they did dominate that game.
That second half they came in and obviously you hate to see Justin Herbert go down and you don't and
Yeah.
you hope that he's healthy and it's like sucks to see that, but it's just like cool. Hey man, we're doing our thing over here. We're doing fun. I have nothing more than just to be like, dude, we're 3-0. Like everyone
Yeah, of
counted us out
course.
this season. It's like cool, we're 3-0. We're leading our division by 2 games. Everyone else is 1-3, 1-3, and 0-3. Or one and
Isn't
two,
it
1-2,
crazy
zero and
that I
3.
think most people would have pegged the Steelers to come in last in that division this year?
Mm-hmm. And guess
And
who's sitting at the bottom?
And the team that I thought would shockingly be first in the division is awful.
Yep. And I'm stoked. I'm just on top of the. It's like not. It's nice to be like I've said though, many times in the past, the Steelers are really good the first 9 games.
Hmm.
They've gone 9-0. They've gone 8-1. They've gone
11 and 0.
7-2. They are really, really good for the first half of the season. And so I just want and obviously what happens is our offense does need to take over in the second half of the season.
Hmm.
That's always where I mean, defenses are, we just need to keep our defense off the field. We need to have good drives where you're driving down the field. Maybe you're not getting a lot of points, but maybe you're getting in Boswell and you can get him in field goals. And it's nice. It's the way that the game's set up now. It is so nice to have a kicker who can go, you know what? It's 54 yards, 56 yards. Kind of feels automatic. He had his first miss from 50 plus yards this game because at halftime they kicked like a 61 yarder to
Just
try to
to
tie it
see.
up, just to tie. And it was like the last second. So, but that's his first miss in like 18 50-yard plus kicks. So it's like, and that's like a just see, like, hey, go out there, see if you can get it on, right?
Right.
Like that, it just feels
No
nice.
expectations.
Yeah, today's day and age, you got to go 40 yards and you're in field goal range.
Oh
50
yeah,
yards and
easily.
like, you know what I mean?
Easily, yeah.
It's nice. Because you're on the 30, you get to the 40 and it's like, oh, we could kick it from here. It's like, we could kick it from the 40. We kick it from the 35, the 40, 42.
Yeah, the evolution of kicking has really progressed over the years where now these guys can just crank these
And
things.
we've always had one. And he's always been like that. He's been
Yeah.
a kicker. He's been a guy since the Killer Bees. When they had the bees, the three bees out there. Um, the four bees actually. Four Bs. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to see that. It's fun to have wins. I think we're gonna get another win, and then we got a big test. Cowboys are whoever the Cowboys are, but they're still a good team. Like they still have good people on their team. They still have a pretty good defense. Like one week isn't gonna define a full team, right?
Hmm.
One bad week doesn't define a team. One great week doesn't define a team. Carolina Panthers had a great week this week. Doesn't mean that they're gonna fucking be good. Probably still gonna be the worst team in the NFL. Cowboys had a bad week. We dogged on them. They're probably not going to continue to have bad weeks. And
No,
if
they're
they
gonna
do,
figure it out.
yeah, I just hope they don't. I hope they figure it out week 7 for both of us. Because
Yes.
week 5 they play me. Week 6 they play you. Week 7 I hope they figure it out.
I believe week 7 is their bye week, and then going into week 8, they play the 49ers.
Perfect. Figure it out in your bye week. I don't care. Figure it out after you play the Steelers. Yeah, but that's all I've got to say. I'm excited. We got the Colts next week. Feels like it should be another win. The way that we're
Should
playing.
be. Should be. Don't let it be a trap game.
Yep. That they need to really hone in that Anthony Richardson is a talented dude. He's got to get the ball on target a little bit more, but he is athletic and he can throw the ball a million miles.
Oh
So
yeah.
just don't get beat. Don't get beat behind you. Keep everything in front of you and don't let him run out of the pocket.
Easier
That's
said
kind of
than done.
that I understand, but it's kind of the game plan. Like, don't let him beat you because like I said, he can throw. The fact that he threw that ball like 65, 70 yards was insane in a game.
Yeah.
In a game. And you're like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah,
how
to
you
even
just
have the balls to try that.
yeah, it's crazy. So I'm excited to see the next game. Excited to see what happens. And yeah, that's all I got for me.
Well, I think that's really all we had for this episode. It's been fun. We miss Justin. It would have been more enjoyable to have him here and hear his opinion on how the Cowboys have been doing,
But
because
he
I think
couldn't
he'd
show
be a
up
very
because
pissed
he was
off fan.
embarrassed. He was embarrassed by what their team was. Couldn't show up. He was embarrassed by what happened.
I
And
actually heard that he was getting laser removal on the Super Bowl tattoo that he got this off season for
that
them.
would that would make sense. He is the type of guy that just does impulse things, as you've probably seen over the years of this podcast. And if you haven't, then you don't know who Justin is. And I promise he's on this podcast still. I know Chris alluded to we have big things coming. There's only 2 of us on here right now. It's not true.
I
Okay.
didn't word it like that.
Yeah, you said
No, we said,
I
hey, yeah, it's only us this week, but hey, don't worry, we got big things coming. I,
That's a little.
I think you're the only person who interpreted that as we're
Big
off
Jam,
in
I need you to
Justin.
just put yes if you interpreted it my way or no if you interpreted it Chris' way. I just need it in the chat. I just need it in there because I just need to so if I'm the only one that's interpreting it this way.
Alex is
But
dumb.
I well that's hey, we can't end this on negativity. We are
I
a
think that's the only
positive
way to end it.
we are a positive podcast now. You guys got mad at me for saying fuck you to all the fans. You got mad at me. You roasted
I
me.
didn't get mad at you for that.
You guys were threatening to take away the outro
I
from
said,
me.
hey, that's probably not a good idea.
And I said, fuck it, I don't care. So now we're on the track of positivity. We've got two teams in here that did really great this week. We have one team that can hang their hat and say, dude, we had a great week. We may not have won, but we had a great week and we have a good team. And we have one team that has question marks. And the question marks decided not to show up this week to answer questions. And that's on him. He'll figure that out. He'll be around, hopefully. Maybe if he loses the Giants, we don't know if he's coming on this podcast ever again. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be on.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
honestly,
honest.
honestly.
If they lose to the Giants, I don't know if we'll ever see Justin again. But it was a fun time. It's been good to just hang out. Our ADD stayed on track.
Yeah, we actually did surprisingly well.
We did surprisingly well,
We
and
we
it's
we, we kind of did a little
yeah,
shifting off the path, but
but we were
we
fine.
we we geared back.
We did. We geared back. We were gear 1 to gear 4, and then we're like, no, we need to get to gear 2, baby. And I think it's only right that we end this before I take us out with the gold star of the week, McJam. If you would
Oh,
chime in, please, and give us a
the
gold
way you
star.
were wording that, it was like you were going to award the gold star. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I'm giving it to myself if I'm awarding it.
Yeah, obviously.
All right, sorry, Alex, but this gold star is going to go to Chris primarily because, even though his Lions beat the Cardinals, he had some good words for the Cardinals and just, made me feel nice.
I think I'm in the lead for the most gold stars this season
This
so
is
far.
this is this is like this is so fucking rigged. I work
Oh,
I I I work hard on this. I give my all. I put my heart into this and I just keep getting snubbed. I'm like any team that plays the Chiefs. The fucking
can't you
zebras are gonna
just be
come in
happy
and
you're 3-0?
I am happy I'm 3-0, but I'm 0-3 for fucking gold stars this year.
You haven't gotten a single one?
Not the regular season.
Oh, I guess that sucks, huh?
Interesting. It does suck. It does suck. It doesn't suck as much as losing to the Ravens. No, I don't want. No, I don't want to. I don't want one. No, no, no. I don't
Yeah,
want
make
one.
them earn it.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
Alex.
Well, I'll take
Let
us
the
out of
people
this, baby.
know.
Let us go and follow us on all socials at the three Amigos podcast. And we would love to interact with you guys. If you have hate in there, we're gonna give it right back. I just want to be honest with you. We are not a podcast that's gonna be like, oh, no, we engage and we engage more and we engage more. There's 3 of us on here that have 2 of us have some crazy opinions. One of us will be probably he's not here though, so we can't talk about him. He can do his own thing. 2 of us will get after you, okay? We will actually 3 of us because McJam just said I was dumb. So he might just be in there and be like, bam, you're dumb. So if it happens, that's McJam. But go follow us, go look at us. We would love to be in your ear holes every single week. We can't wait to see you guys next week. We promise big things are coming. Justin is staying, and we will see you next week when you get to hear us and listen with us and talk about the beautiful podcast and the beautiful sport that we get to do, and that's football. Bye, guys.
Just be careful letting us in your ear holes because we might just give you hearing aids.